What's going on with Seahawks?
Good question.
Yikes.
Interesting.
Okay. This hit my, my news feed yesterday.
Okay.
And it reminded me of what happened with the Indianapolis Colts after all my friends got cut.
Yeah.
So I was very lucky to be at the tail end of the Bill Polian, Peyton Manning era. Okay, winningest decade in NFL history. Obviously, you've seen the highlights. Now, you never see Peyton Manning in a Colts uniform anymore.
Sure.
You only see him in a Broncos uniform, and that's because Jim Irsay pseudo had to cut Peyton Manning. Because at the point, there was a lockout happening. He didn't know if his nerves and Jim, I guess, didn't know if the nerves from his neck were going to be able to make him feel his fingers ever again. Andrew Luck, the greatest prospect on earth, is sitting there. Weird situation. Now, Peyton has a statue here. I think Jim will try forever to be a guy to make it right with Peyton. I think Peyton obviously understands it all. But you only see photos of Peyton in Denver Broncos uniforms now. Not fun, not cool, not great, especially for Colts fans who became football fans because of what Peyton Manning was able to do. But it wasn't just Peyton Manning. It was that entire era. You talk about dudes that have just sacrificed for this city of Indianapolis to make Indianapolis a football town. There was a nice mural on the wall. All my friends, literally with the Super Bowl and everything that this city is, from the RCA Dome to Lucas Oil, it was like a story of the Indianapolis Colts.
Sweet.
With like Freeney on there, Mathis is on there, Gary Brackett, Jeff Saturday's on there, Ryan Dean was on there, Peyton Manning obviously on there, Edrin James, Joseph Adai's on there. Basically any, Bob Sanders I think was up in the top with like Vinatieri's holding a fist pose. It was like this massive mural was on the wall, and it was awesome. It was like, okay, this is kind of the story of the Indianapolis Colts and what it has been. So then whenever, they move on from Peyton and then they move into the next era with Grigson, who I've made good with.
That's right.
Yep.
Nice to chat with you, Ryan. I do think this was still a horrendous decision. And Chuck Pagano, literally day one, painted it, like saw them painting over the wall. The guy that had worked for the Colts, Angel, I believe his name was, who was friends with, like he'd been a part of the Colts building and facility operator for a long time. He's the one that had to paint over.
Jeez.
Tough day.
Crying.
Paint over this mural. And I'm just watching as Dallas Clark's on there, watching Dallas's face just get covered up and the trophies and everything like that. And it's like, okay, so we're not the Colts anymore?
Don't exist.
Yeah, what?
So that wasn't good, what just happened in the last. Then all the photos of all the greats, all of them, go back to Unite Us. All of them taken out of the part where the players are. Take those photos down. We're putting new players up there that we drafted. This is a whole new era, a whole new team. I personally hated it. I was the youngest guy that was still on the team that didn't get cut, from the previous regime. Reggie Wayne was obviously still there. Robert Mathis was there. Adam Vinatieri was there. A couple other, but it was basically a clean sweep, whole new team. And I was way too young to say anything. But then I get a chance to fly to Tokyo, Japan for a USO tour with Chuck Pagano sitting right next to him, and I was going to retire. So this was probably a year or two before I actually retired. I was going to retire because I hated just working for these people. Like, I did not like it. I did not enjoy it. I hated the way they operated. Like, I just did not like what was happening. So me and Chuck next to each other, 17 hours. And I just basically
Gave it to him.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
I was like, how about day one when you just painted over the entire history of the Colts, took all the photos down? We get it. This is the Indianapolis Chuck and Grigsons. Okay, not the Colts. We understand. Now the Seattle Seahawks are doing the same exact thing.
Yikes.
Seattle Seahawks did the same exact thing. Painted over the walls. Here's Leonard Williams, formerly, yes, of the Giants.
Right.
Okay, got traded to the Seattle Seahawks last year on October 30th, I believe. Here's his take on the entire thing.
My impressions with the team and with the coaches and with Mike, as an overall feeling, it just, you can just tell there's a sense of urgency right now. And in a way that's kind of bringing everyone closer together. That's making everyone, be so locked in and like in meetings and in the weight room on the field. It's like you could just tell there's a different sense of like everyone's like locked in on a different level. And I remember the first day we came into the team meeting, Mike pointed out that there's empty walls in the hallways and things like that. And for a person like me, I think that made me really excited, and I hope it made the rest of the guys excited because, we're obviously going to respect tradition and the history of the Seahawks, but I think it's given us like a clean foundation to like create whatever we want to be. We're not chasing to be like any other team that's been here before. We want to create our own identity.
I understand. I appreciate. I respect it. But also what the Legion of Boom and that Seattle Seahawks team did was wonderful. It was a massive piece of NFL history. It's like, let's not just try to bury what makes the team the team. McDonald doesn't probably want the gig in Seattle as bad if it wasn't for what Pete Carroll and the Seattle Seahawks had done over the last decade and a half, 2 decades. So there's a lot that goes into it. That's a decision that gets made. I guess the good way to view it is like, yeah, we got a brand new start, fresh canvas and everything like that. And I understand and I appreciate that. But for me, when it happened at the Colts, my immediate thought was, what are we doing? What are we doing? Then we get Andrew Luck. We go to the AFC Championship game. It's like, all right, I guess we got brand new walls coming.
Fair enough.
And then it didn't happen again. So, I mean, and they haven't won the.
Yeah.
But Ballard comes in.
Tossed it back up there.
Yeah. Everybody in every room. Dwight Freeney's in every room.
Yeah.
Robert Mathis in every room.
Good.
Peyton Manning's in every room. It's like, I don't think you should try to bury history to create your own. You can embrace it while also creating a new era. Hopefully, we have nothing but faith in McDonald. We think he's a fantastic coach out of Baltimore. Same with Schneider, but I don't like the move personally as a player, but Leonard Williams does. He's in the locker room. Who cares?